Thank you. Senate Minority Whip John Thune, the great state of South Dakota, is with us. Your thoughts on all of the big news this afternoon?
Well, we have an indictment, and the justice system needs to work. I think there are a lot of questions, John, surrounding Hunter Biden on many levels. These are gun charges, firearms possession charges today, but everything dealing with his Ukraine involvement, that sort of thing, and any potential connection to the president, those things need to be investigated. We need to follow the facts. And I think that's what these investigations are all about.
So it is being investigated by 3 House committees. Yep. There is some reluctance among many of your Senate colleagues for what's going on in the House. You have said there's enough smoke there to support an inquiry. Are you comfortable with what Chairman Comer, Chairman Jordan, and Chairman Smith are doing?
I am. We heard yesterday from Representatives Comer and Jordan. They came over and sort of briefed the Senate on their investigations, and clearly what we know is there's a lot of bad conduct there, and there's a lot of information that the Biden administration is stonewalling on providing to these investigative committees. And so I think this is a natural next step. They need to go where the facts lead on this, and I think there, as I said yesterday, there's a lot of smoke there, and usually when there's that much smoke, there's some fire.
Yeah, we have been talking about this afternoon with these indictments, this 3-count indictment of Hunter Biden, how far away we are from where we were 7 weeks ago when he walked into Judge Mary Ellen Norieka's courtroom in Delaware, expecting to pro forma sign some documents and walk pretty much scot-free with the promise of future immunity. And now it's really raised the idea that now that this is out there, it's like, what system of justice was applied to this fellow?
Well, and I think that's the other question that hopefully this investigation will get at. One is it's about his conduct, for sure, but secondly, about how the Justice Department handled this case. And those are all things that I think need to be investigated. Clearly it has evolved a lot from what we knew. And then the more we know, the smellier it gets. And I think that's why the good work that's being done by the House of Representatives and their committees is really critical.
Joe Biden has said, oh, well, my DOJ is completely independent of the White House and any political influence. Attorney General Merrick Garland will be on the Hill testifying next week, has said we're completely independent from any political influence from the White House. But when you see a deal like what was cut 7 weeks ago out there, which is now turned and this is maybe just the first shoe to drop, into a 3-count federal indictment, is the DOJ free from political influence?
Well, and I hate to say this about the Department of Justice, but the burden of proof is really on them. Because what the American people can't abide is 2 systems of justice. And like I said, and they're going to have an opportunity to make their arguments, make their case, this investigation. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it. But one thing we know is that the conduct is reprehensible. The treatment, at least the initial treatment when the charges were brought, seemed to be very unusual given the nature and of the allegations. And I think this is. So this story's not done yet, and I think there's a lot of smoke there.
This picture on the left-hand side of your screen is of the building where David Weiss's office is. Nothing going on outside of there. Don't expect anything would. They've spoken through this indictment. This could be, as many of our guests have illustrated today, be just the beginning, because there's still the tax charges that are out there. How do they relate to what business Hunter Biden was doing overseas? How do those businesses potentially connect to Joe Biden? Was there a FARA violation here? Prosecutors in David Weiss's office have suggested that could be part of the investigation. This may not tie directly to the president, but could some of this other stuff that's still out there in the ether?
Well, and that's what we have to find out. And I think you have to follow the money. I mean, that's basically what these investigations, I think, are getting at, is the money trail, and does it lead back to the White House? Does it lead back to Joe Biden? And we don't know the answers to that, largely because the Biden administration has been stonewalling these investigative committees when it comes to providing information. And that's where I think moving forward with an inquiry gives them more subpoena powers, a greater ability to get the information they need to make some of those decisions and terminations. But like I said, I mean, if you look at kind of where this is leading, and just in the last several weeks, the amount of information that's come forward and the kinds of clues that are out there, this needs a much broader examination, and I think that's what these committees are going to do.
We were expecting that the president was going to start his remarks on the economy about 13 minutes ago. You're a colleague of his in the Senate. You know him quite well. He's been there forever. How do you think he responds to what happened today?
I don't know. I mean, I think we're all going to be interested to see. He's been very defensive, hasn't wanted to answer any questions. I don't think he can pull that off. I think American people are going to demand answers, and they should.
And
I mean,
do you think this sticks to him politically?
Well, I think it does, and I think one of the reasons that he is stuck where he is, with his approval rating and everything else, is it ties back to the economy for sure, and the border and a lot of other issues. But I think it has to do too with people's perception of him and how he's handled this situation with his son.
All right, well, we'll see. At some point, he's going to take to the lectern and give his remarks. We'll see if he talks about this. Senator Thune, always good to see you. Thank you for dropping by.
Thanks, John. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.